So we finally made it through the busy patch, right? The draft, free agency, all of the chaos, and the Sixers had a pretty good stretch. They made some really good moves, but now they need to finish it off. What is the final piece? Do they use all of the cap remaining to sign a player? Today they are showing interest in one specific guy. We'll talk about if the fit is there, as well as another player who could have a reunion in Philly, and also a trade that is, I guess, somewhat finalized. We'll get into it all, but welcome into Philly Take with RB. I'm RB. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the coverage. Appreciate all the new viewers coming along. And I want to start off with a little video clip of the newest Sixer, Andre Drummond. Let's go, man. Drummond put out a little highlight reel of himself, and he's looking to be in pretty good shape. Look, he's even knocking down the three. Could we see some Drum God threes this season? I'm hyped to have this guy back, man. Really good rebounder, just an aged vet who knows his role, and probably the best backup that Embiid's ever had. So I'm excited to see Drummond back in Philadelphia. And in other news, the Sixers did announce their Summer League roster. And keep in mind, this is a unique year, right? Some of these guys are going to end up on Philly's roster. You just have to fill out the spots. So whether it's Jeff Doughton Jr., who gets another chance, we know Ricky Council will be on the team, Justin Edwards, a undrafted player. Look at this, couple former first-round picks on the roster. RJ Hampton. What about Romeo Langford, good defensive presence? And Tony Bradley's in Summer League. Oh, fire me up. Are we winning the Summer League chip or what? We might win the Summer League championship. I cannot wait to see how this plays out. We'll be covering it all as we go forward. But, okay, let's go ahead and talk about the Sixers and what they need, because like I said a couple days ago, and by the way, hope everybody enjoyed their 4th of July. I was not able to make a video as the news was dropping, but we have some free agency sign and trade news. We'll talk about the free agents available. Okay, here's what we're looking at. Who do the Sixers sign, right? They have $9.2 million left of cap space. Who do they get? It's likely they'll bring Lowry back on a minimum. Tyus Jones, I think, would be really good, but his price tag might be too high. Markelle Fultz, I mean, I don't know. Gary Trent Jr., I'd really like. Will he take a bit of a discount? Kind of looks slim at this point. And obviously, we need to keep our eyes on power forward. Now, this might be a situation where Philly has to wait until the deadline to really get their guy. They don't want to pay tax, but who do you go out and get? Like, who's left? I said on Twitter today, Sixer fans were getting all frustrated. Precious Achiuwa, right? Has the Nick Nurse connection, pretty good rebounder, averaged 7+ rebounds last year. People are saying, oh, no, he stinks. He's not the answer. I'm not saying he's the answer. I'm saying look at what is left. Give me Precious Achiuwa. Give me Marcus Morris, and let's call it a day. And go from there and try to pick up somebody in season. Unless there's a player around the league, a hidden gem, as I'd say, that is unhappy and you can get him, bring him in, and he's not being paid more than $9.2 million. That really, to me, is the only route at this point. So we'll see what happens, but who do you think the Sixers should get? Anyway, one player is being brought up, and that is Caleb Martin. What do you guys think about Caleb Martin? We'll talk about the news, the reports, the rumors, but before we jump into it, I do have to let you know that this video is sponsored by Mando. Shout out to Mando. They are an absolute juggernaut in the category right now. Obviously, you probably know the Mando deodorant, but they have a ton of great products, and you can get $5 off of the Mando starter pack by using my code right now, PhillyTake5, over on shopmando.com. The link will be down in the description. As we are recording this, and probably as you're seeing it, I'm going to be on a plane. I'm going on vacation for once. I'm taking some time. I am going to travel, and traveling is tough because it's hard to know how much to pack, right? You don't want to pack too much or not enough. But when it comes to the hygiene portion of it, now it is simplified with the Mando 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's a 5-ounce bar that pretty much is a 4-in-1. It does the work of a shampoo, a face wash, a body wash, and a deodorant. It also can create a rich shaving lather, which pretty much makes it a 5-in-1. This thing is an absolute monster. It's formulated with a gentle alpha hydroxy acid that stops odor at the source. And to be completely honest, I don't even know what that means. I don't know what an alpha hydroxy acid is, but what I could tell you from using it is that it works. Mount Fuji is the best. I also like bourbon leather. Those are my two favorites. And everybody I've recommended this product to comes back telling me, RB, This thing has enhanced my hygiene routine. And of course, the Mando deodorant is the best product that I've ever used out there when it comes to deodorants. It's my absolute favorite. I use it every single day. And if you're someone out there who constantly sweats and you have trouble finding a really good quality deodorant, Mando is the way to go. It's actually comfortable and lasts long, up to 72-hour odor control. Customers can get $5 off of the Mando starter pack. Go to shopmando.com, use the code PhillyTake5 over on shopmando.com, and shout out to them for being a great partner of the show. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Caleb Martin, because this report came out. Caleb Martin reportedly declined an extension from the Miami Heat earlier in the offseason and was said to be seeking $15 million per year. Let's be honest, he's probably not going to get that at this point. Quality role player, a guy who can knock down some threes off movement, guy who can put it on the floor a bit, scrappy little tenacious player. I like him. I like his game, right? He was instrumental in that Miami Finals run, and he was showing up big time in some of those playoff games. But $15 million a year, probably a little bit too much. Miami is no longer able to offer that contract. Martin has yet to find an offer similar to Miami's previous offer. So, look, man, I don't know what they were offering him, but I think they just signed Alec Burks as well. They're not going to bring Caleb Martin back, and I know Daryl Morey's going to be in on this guy. All the reporters have said that the Sixers have preliminary interest, and then this report comes out and says, Philadelphia Inquirer's Keith Pompey reported the Sixers have had discussions with the Heat free agent Haywood Highsmith, former Delaware Bluecoat, actually. Shout out to Haywood Highsmith, got up for a little bit on the Sixers. Sixers have had discussions with Heat free agent Caleb Martin as they scan the free agent market for options to fill their roster, according to a league source. So, what do we think about Caleb Martin, okay? Here are his stats. He's been in the league 5 years. Almost feels like he's been around longer, but this guy last year averaged 10 points per game. He's excelled in that role player, spotlight, right? He's not a starter. He's not a quality, 1, 2, 3, 4 option, but he's a guy who's going to come in off the bench and provide a little bit of a spark. He can knock down threes off the catch and shoot. He can move around, space the floor. And like I said, he's just scrappy. He's 4.4 this last year, but the year before, almost 5 rebounds per game. He's not going to do too much, right? He's just a nice little 3-and-D type of player. And I like Caleb Martin. I'm not against it. I don't think he's going to change the dynamic of your team. But when put in the right system, right, and the Sixers still need firepower off the bench, he would be a quality player here. I really do believe that. The question is, how much are you willing to give him? And again, the Sixers still have a rebounding issue. They need a power forward. So you don't want to give the rest of the money to this guy and then not have anybody going into the season. So I would say the likelihood of him coming to Philly, maybe, right? Like maybe 50%, depending on if he's willing to take a significant pay cut. And then in addition to that, we had a trade that went down because Buddy Hield was traded officially on a sign-in trade to the Golden State Warriors. 3 years total, but 2 years, $21 million guaranteed. So, a lot of people were telling me a month, 2 months ago, yeah, Buddy Hield's going to get signed for, 15, 17, 18 per year. The Sixers can use his bird rights and sign him. I think it was like 18, 20 million. I'm like, there's no way this guy's going to get a lot of money because he essentially disappeared for 2 months of the season. So while I would have liked to seen Buddy Hield back with the Sixers, I would not have minded it. I think he, could have done more, given another shot with Joel Embiid, etc. I just don't think he earned it. And I think Golden State is a good spot for him. They've picked up DeAnthony Melton. They've now picked up Buddy Hield. And this is going to be a part of a bigger trade as well. They're saying it could be a 4 or 5 team trade, which is why it has not officially been finalized. But in this trade, the Warriors did get to send a second round pick to the Sixers. So 2031, essentially you were going to lose this guy for nothing. He's going to make around $9 million per year in the 2 years. Plus there's a $3 million partial guarantee and a player option. So it gets a little tricky, but the Sixers get a draft pick for free. And now they have recouped all of the draft picks that were in the original Buddy Hield trade when they traded 3 seconds to get him. So shout out to Daryl Morey. He's cooking right now. He's getting things done. And I like it. You were going to lose Buddy Hield. You weren't able to pay him $9 million per year, but you got the picks back, and that's all that matters. And, the fit just wasn't right. So, yeah, sure, Buddy Hield could have provided an impact, but he's just a streaky shooter. And we saw that during his tenure with the Sixers. And of course, he came alive in the last game, but it was too little too late. So anyway, that's where we're at with Buddy Hield. And that does hard cap the Sixers, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We're just trying to see if they'll even use this last $9 million in cap space. Now, lastly, Marcus Morris is a guy we talked about the other day. His brother commented on my tweet, pretty much saying that he's the best power forward remaining. If the Sixers don't get Caleb Martin, or if they still need a power forward, like I said earlier, Precious Achiuwa, or I would take Marcus Morris back. Now, he's not the same as he was before, but if you look at the numbers, right, the Sixers are interested in bringing this guy back. I don't think it would be a bad decision. They gave him up in the Buddy Hield trade, and here's Marcus Morris. Last year with the Sixers, he was shooting 40% from three, and then with the Cavs, he was shooting 41.4% from three. Yeah, the point numbers dropped, but even go back a couple years, like, he was a pretty good role player for some of these teams, the Clippers, the Knicks, the Celtics. No, he's not going to, make your jaw drop. He's not going to completely impact the game and take over, but he's a pretty good role player, and I thought he did a good job coming off the bench. He played about 17 minutes per game with the 76ers. He was able to hit his shots, and he even had a couple games, I remember, when players were injured where he really did step up, though, and take over. There was that one game, I forget, I think it was against Minnesota, where he just went off in the first half. So I would like Marcus Morris to come back home. Shoot, bring Markieff as well. Come back to the 76ers, and right now this could be just kind of a bridge the gap option until you find more of a longer-term guy, or maybe make a trade in the season or whatever it is. So what do we think about Marcus Morris? Give me your thoughts down below, or maybe there's a hidden gem out there. Who is it going to be? Give me all your thoughts. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.